It started with a crash in my backyard. I thought it was just a meteor until it opened and something came out of it. A baby heat blast. I didn't know what it was or where it came from, but somehow it trusted me, so I kept it. I started raising it, learning what it eats, how it grows, and things were finally starting to make sense until another one arrived. This time, it wasn't fire. It was something cold, silent, and way more mysterious. Now I have two alien creatures in my house, both getting stronger, both completely unpredictable. And just when I thought I had things under control, something else showed up, something way worse. I was sitting in my backyard that night, casually scrolling on my phone while enjoying the quiet, and within seconds, something came crashing straight into my backyard with a massive impact. My heart started racing as I slowly walked closer. As the smoke began to clear, I noticed something unusual sitting right at the center of the crater. And that's when I saw a perfectly round object about the size of a basketball. I hesitated for a second, but curiosity quickly took over as I grabbed a cloth and carefully picked it up. I brought it inside my house and placed it on my desk under the light, where it looked even more like some kind of advanced sci-fi pod. But before I could do anything else, the sphere suddenly released a loud burst of steam. Startled, I stepped back as the object began to open in segments, unfolding like mechanical petals. I couldn't look away as something inside began to move, and slowly, a small figure started rising from the center of the pod. As it fully revealed itself, I realized what I was looking at, and I couldn't believe it. It was Heatblast. But this version was completely different, because instead of being powerful and intimidating, it was tiny, no bigger than a kitten. Its body was made of glowing molten rock, with soft flames flickering through the cracks. When it looked up at me, its eyes didn't feel threatening at all, and instead gave off a curious and almost innocent expression. Not wanting to take any risks, I quickly went to grab a pair of safety gloves. I slowly reached my hand toward it while speaking softly, trying to stay calm and not scare it. The tiny heat blast tilted its head for a moment, and then slowly reached out its small fiery hand toward mine. The moment our hands touched, I braced myself for pain. But instead, all I felt was a gentle warmth, like holding something comforting on a cold night. The tiny heat blast made a soft crackling sound, almost like it was happy, and then gently wrapped its fingers around mine. I gently lifted it in my hands, noticing how light it felt despite being made of something that looked like molten rock, and it didn't resist at all as it simply sat there, looking around with curiosity. As I walked toward my room, it kept turning its head in different directions, reacting to everything like it was seeing the world for the first time. When I placed it on my bed, it immediately started moving around, touching the blanket and pillows with its small glowing hands, leaving faint warm marks but not actually burning anything. I sat down nearby, watching closely, still being careful just in case something went wrong. After a few moments, I realized something important. If this is a baby, then it probably needs food. I got up and quickly went to the kitchen, grabbing some random things like bread and a piece of fruit, not really knowing what a creature like this would even eat. When I came back and placed the food in front of it, the tiny heat blast just stared at it for a few seconds without reacting. It leaned forward slightly, sniffed it, and then looked back at me with a confused expression. It lifted its small hand and released a quick burst of heat, instantly burning the food on the plate into black ash. Not wanting it to burn anything else inside the house, I carefully picked it up and moved quickly toward the backyard, keeping my movements calm so I wouldn't scare it further. "Let's go outside, safer for both of us," I said quietly while stepping out into the open air. The moment we reached the backyard, it seemed to relax a little, its flame settling down as it looked around the dark space with curiosity again. I gently placed it on the ground and took a small step back, giving it room while still keeping a close eye on everything it did. For a few seconds, it just wandered around, looking at random objects, until suddenly it stopped and turned its head towards something near the wall. I followed its gaze and immediately noticed the old bag of coal I had kept there for barbecue. I quickly opened the bag and picked up a piece of fresh coal, holding it carefully before offering it to the tiny Heatblast. "Is this what you want?" It grabbed the coal from my hand without hesitation and bit into it like it was completely normal, the surface glowing brighter as it started consuming it. As soon as it finished, it immediately reached for more, and I barely had time to react before it started eating piece after piece from the bag. "Hey, slow down!" I slowly looked up at the sky, and my heart dropped as I noticed the same strange glow forming above the clouds, just like earlier that night. Within seconds, another meteor came tearing through the sky, heading straight toward my backyard. It crashed just a few feet away from Heatblast, creating a powerful impact that sent dust everywhere. Heatblast was knocked away by the impact. I went to find him and discovered him unconscious. When I touched him, he suddenly woke up. Then we went to check the object that had just crashed. Another sphere. It looked exactly like the first one, the same sci-fi ball with glowing lines pulsing across its surface. Before I could get closer, it released a loud burst of steam, and I instantly understood what was about to happen. Okay, here we go again. This time, the air around it suddenly turned cold. A soft mist spread across the ground as a ghost-like winged creature floated out of the pod. Its body dark and smooth with glowing blue accents. Big Chill. It hovered silently, looking around with calm, almost eerie movements. But before anything else could happen, Heatblast reacted. Still glowing from all the coal, it turned toward Big Chill and instantly fired a burst of flames in anger. Heatblast is angry because Big Chill disturbed him while he was eating. I quickly grabbed both of them before things could escalate and carried them inside. "Both of you, calm down," I said, trying to keep control. The moment I put them down, Heatblast went straight back to the coal bag and continued eating like nothing had happened. I sighed and turned my attention to Big Chill, who was now floating slowly around the room, leaving a faint trail of cold air behind. "All right, so what do you eat?" I wondered out loud. As if answering me, Big Chill suddenly stopped and turned toward the freezer. Before I could react, it drifted closer, and the freezer door slowly creaked open. "Wait, how did you?" I started to say. Inside, it reached for a tray of ice blocks and pulled one out. Holding it for a brief moment before biting into it, a sharp crack echoed as the ice broke apart, and it began consuming it effortlessly. It didn't stop there and quickly grabbed more, calmly eating piece after piece. I leaned back slightly, watching both of them, one glowing hotter with coal, the other cooling the room with ice. Big Chill lifted off the ground again, slowly floating higher as a faint blue glow started forming around its body. The room began to feel colder as the glow intensified, spreading a soft light across the walls. Within seconds, the light became too bright to look at directly, and then a flash. When it faded, Big Chill had grown bigger, its wings wider and its presence much stronger than before. I stared in shock. "You evolved too." Behind me, Heatblast let out a sharp crackling sound. I turned and saw it staring at Big Chill, its flames burning more intensely. Then suddenly, it started moving. It began jumping around, doing random physical movements, and rushing back to the coal bag to eat even more. It kept going, eating and moving faster, its glow building up just like before. Not again. Within moments, the light around Heatblast burst out, another flash. When it cleared, Heatblast had grown too, its flames stronger and body more defined. It stood there confidently, then looked straight at Big Chill. This time, it wasn't curious. It was ready to fight. Heatblast stepped forward, flames rising, while Big Chill lowered slightly, wings spreading as cold air filled the room. Before anything could happen, I rushed in and stepped between them. No fighting. I quickly led them out of the house and onto the street, making sure they followed me before things got worse. At first, everything felt normal, until people started noticing. I made my way to the nearby park, thinking open space would be safer. Just stay calm, both of you. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then suddenly, boom! A massive explosion hit the center of the park, shaking the ground beneath us. Smoke filled the air, blocking everything from view. I stared into it, my heart pounding. Then a figure started walking forward. Slow, heavy, powerful. As the smoke cleared, the shape became visible. Large, armored, terrifying. "No way," I whispered. It was Vilgax, and he was looking straight at us.